Well, hello and welcome to I Love Gay at Home. And today we're focused on theater life in New York City. And we are here with Richard Skipper. How are you, Richard?
I'm doing great, all things considered. How are you?
Fantastic. I haven't seen you in a while. Last time I saw you, you were performing at the Laurie Beechman Theatre in the cabaret show there. And
Oh
I
my
missed
God.
those.
I think the last show, I was there as artist in residence for 2 years,
Yeah.
as you know, doing a show called Richard Skipper Celebrates.
Yep.
And and then I wrote a solo show called The Magic of Believing, which we can talk about if you'd like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did those shows I started at the Triad, and then I moved to the Laurie Beechman Theatre. And once a month, we did a monthly brunch show, which was a very expensive show to do. 5-piece band. We had 5 guests in each show. A lot of work. I would finish one show, and rather than sitting back and resting on my laurels, I was already planning for the next show. So it was a full-time job. And then when I wanted to write my own show, my solo show, I needed to take a sabbatical from doing all of that. So the last show that I did was, believe it or not, a year ago this month, now that we're in May.
Wow.
The parade passes by. I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's high life before the parade passes by. I'm gonna get some life back into my life. I'm ready to move out in front. I've had enough of just passing by life with the rest of them and the best of them. But I can hold my head up high, for I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna drive again. I can feel my heart coming alive again before the parade passes by.
And how are you, now that you can't, the New York City and they're doing almost everything live is shut down. How have you pivoted? How are you adapting to this new situation?
Well, it's very interesting because back in early March, the end of February, today is, as we're doing this interview, it's my 51st day of not being in New York City.
Wow.
And I was so much a part of that world, and hopefully will be again soon, I hope, that it is a major shift. When I started hearing about what was going on in Italy and in China, I was paying attention.
Yeah.
And my demographic, ideally, is 40 and up, gay, straight, everything in between. And I didn't want to put their lives in danger. And I was talking to a neighbor friend of mine, and her sister lives in Italy, and she said, fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
And the last time that I was in the city was on March 10th. I was scheduled to do a show on the 19th of March, a guest appearance in a show. Yeah. And I'd already been in the city for 4 different occasions to rehearse this number that we were going to do together. And I called her the week before the show, and I said, the more I think about this, the more I think it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
So I said, you can call me many things, and many people have, but don't call me a quitter.
Yeah.
I'm not a quitter, but in this instance, I think I need to pull out. Yeah. And then the next thing that I was supposed to do was a big night that happens every year for Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, and that's Broadway Backwards. And I was supposed to be as an audience member, but I had interviewed Leslie Ann Warren the week before, and Leslie Ann Warren called me and said, I don't think that I feel comfortable coming to New York. And this was before anything had been shut down or anything. Yeah. I actually wrote to all the theaters, not all the theaters, but all the cabaret rooms in New York, begging them to shut their doors. Yeah. And unfortunately, I found out last week that one member, a guy who played, and I apologize, I don't remember his name, who played at the Townhouse, died of COVID-19.
Yes, I heard that as well. No, I know. I mean, when you look back on it, it was a no-brainer that, of course, things had to be canceled because everything just spiraled so quickly. New
But
York
it's
City
such
being
a
the
bizarre
epicenter.
time. I mean, you and I don't know how old you are. I think I'm a lot older than you.
Not by much.
But going through the AIDS epidemic and the crisis at that time,
Yeah.
it was very interesting because you'd be out in the community, and then you would notice that you would not see somebody for quite a while,
Yeah.
and you would speak to your friends and you'd say, "I haven't seen John. Where is he?"
Yeah.
Well, didn't you hear he passed away? And what is so unique to this time in our lives is that everything is playing out in real time.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at my computer. I don't know if this has happened to you, but I'm on Facebook, and all of a sudden in my feed, someone posts that their partner had passed away,
Yeah. Yeah.
or their mom or dad had passed away, or a neighbor. I lost 2 neighbors this week, and it's horrible, and you're getting it in real time. But thank God that we have this this method right now.
Oh yeah.
My
Yeah.
Alexa's talking.
Oh
so,
yeah. They have a mind of their own. Be very nice. Always say nice things about Alexa or Google or any of them, because later on in the future, when they start to take over a little bit more, you want them to know that you were on their side.
Absolutely.
How's that for crazy talk?
Well, it's crazy talk. Right after we got her, we had a couple of friends for dinner one night, and one of them said, and I'm not going to mention her name,
yes.
How do you get blood out of sheets? And of course, he did it as a joke, and I said, "Are you crazy?"
It's a whole different world that way.
It's a different world we're living in.
I know, and who knows? They say that after this is over, that there's going to be a lot more robots managing our life and maybe even delivering our food at the table and so forth. So I have no idea. But.
Well, it's very, very interesting because a couple of years ago, I heard an interview with William Shatner when he turned 80 years old. And they said, Larry King was interviewing him when Larry King had his show. And he said, "What do you attribute to your success?" And he said, "I get out of the house." Yeah. He said, "Nowadays," he said, anything I want for dinner, I can order it on the internet. Any sexual proclivity I have, there's an app out there, and there's somebody who's going to come to my house and deliver. Yeah. If I want to watch a movie, it's on demand now. Everything is at our fingerprint tips. And the interesting thing about all this is right now, we are all forced into this reality. And I also think that what this has done for us is it's brought us closer together than people have been in years. Yesterday, they did a surprise Zoom party for my uncle who turned 87 yesterday.
Wow.
And he's the last person I would ever expect to see in a Zoom meeting. Yep. And so, and a lot of these are going on, and I'm finding that people are finding ways to think outside the box. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so it's expanding our creativity. I don't know what this is going to do in terms of the theater scene and the cabaret scene and the concert world and the sports world. Because, these, when you think about it, these are essential.
Oh, yeah.
We need them in our lives. They're diversions, they're whatever, but the concept of people coming together and, it's very difficult now for theaters, for a show to sustain itself if it's not at capacity. Yeah. And even, Hello Dolly, I'll use that as an example. Huge successful show. And it was always sold out, but the expense of that show was so high that the show closed at a loss for the investors.
Wow. Well, we're hopeful. We have tickets for Company in June, so we're hopeful.
I had them for April 1st.
We did too. We had to get rid of those. So
we would have seen each other in the theater that night.
Yeah. So we were set for April. That obviously didn't work out. So we have tickets for June 10th, I believe, and so we're really crossing our fingers that perhaps.
I hope so, but I mean, based on, well, I don't want to say. I'm going to be hopeful. That's all I can say.
Exactly. Positive thinking. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, that's the main part of, why we're doing this, is just to kind of help bring us all together and, remind folks, especially in this conversation about, being at the epicenter. There is a whole world out there that's waiting to come back in the world of live theater in New York. And so I think you and I and many, many others are very much looking forward to when this comes back for us.
Well, I'm very hopeful as well, but my biggest concern is that there's so much still about COVID-19 that we don't know.
Yeah.
And there are asymptomatic people who are walking around who are carriers who may not even show any symptoms of this.
Yeah.
And, a friend of mine, a well-known actor in the theater, said, "Oh my God, an audience will panic the next time somebody coughs in the theater."
I know. I know I'm paranoid. Whenever I go anywhere, I have to make sure, do not sneeze, do not cough, because otherwise you're stigmatized. Or actually, I think I would just turn around and walk out of wherever I'm at. I just would not want to stay there. But no, I'm looking forward.
Perhaps, we will all be a little bit cleaner, going
another
going on in
byproduct.
our lives. We're constantly washing our hands now.
Yeah, that's a good point. So no, this is great. And so now, again, like I said, I really thank you for taking out some time to say hello to our audience. And like I said, I'd look forward very much to being able to see you in the real world again.
Well, I hope so. I do want to mention, if I may,
yes, please,
about my hashtag Stay Home campaign.
Yes,
which you very much, I love your video.
Thank you.
For me, it was a masterclass on how to do it. You talked about my purpose of doing these, what you're doing to keep entertained, and you promoted your business. Yeah. And that's the goal that I have with each of these. So for anyone who sees this, if you go to my YouTube channel, which is Richard Skipper Celebrates, and go on and look at some of the hashtag Stay Home videos. And if you'd like to create a video of your own to promote your business, whatever you're doing, I want to keep this message going until we are able to go out into the real world again. To please stay home. And, and it's entertaining for people as well. It's a short PSA. And again, thank you for being a part of it.
Fantastic. Well, great seeing you here.
You too.
All right. Take care now.
Thank you. You too.